Back live at Assembly Hall as we prepare for our second Boys Class AA quarterfinal game. The Tigers of Edwardsville against the Vikings of Rockford, Guilford. Joe Passion back with you, and before we talk more about the X and O's background of these two teams, let's go back to the streets of Edwardsville. But first, Rockford and the Guilford Vikings. As we look at the brackets and we talk about how the teams have already won once this morning, these are the games that are, of course, still ahead, coming up now for the teams. Later tonight at 6:30, we'll have two more quarterfinal games that you'll see here live, including the Danville-Glenbrook North game, and then Proviso East against King later on this evening at 8:30. Now let's go back and walk along the streets first of Rockford, Illinois. Founded in 1818, this town of 11,000 in southwestern Illinois sits about 30 minutes outside of St. Louis, Missouri. It's a picturesque and modern community. Southern Illinois University has a campus there that helps drive Edwardsville economy and growth. The high school has an enrollment of over 1,600. And the Tigers hope to begin building a new tradition this weekend, reminiscent of their glory years of the mid-1950s. The city of Rockford is making its second consecutive trip to Champaign, with Guilford High School carrying the banner. The beautiful and spacious town of downtown Rockford leads to the Metro Center, which is used for many sporting events, concerts, and other large gatherings. The high school is bustling over with the excitement of the basketball team's first trip to the state finals. This whole town bustles every week in northern Illinois, and it continues to grow and attract new families. The roads out of Rockford this weekend all lead to Champaign. We'll be back to preview this second quarterfinal game after this message. One of your network sponsors is the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. It over to half court now to run down the two teams with Kenny McReynolds and Tom Stocker.
Thank you very much, Joe Passion, and hello, everybody. Here in quarterfinal game number 2, we've got Edwardsville and Rockford Guilford. Two teams that probably at the start of the season, Kenny, didn't figure on being here in the Elite Eight. Edwardsville has benefited from a very strong schedule. Meanwhile, this Rockford Guilford program is a young up-and-coming program.
Well, yeah, Rockford Guilford, a young up-and-coming program. They also have a young coach. He's 26 years old. He told me yesterday he looks so young that he gets carded at R-rated movies.
I wish he'd quit calling us sir every time we talk. You say yes sir, no sir. It makes us feel real old. But this should be a really interesting ball game. Edwardsville really hasn't faced a team with the kind of physical strength Guilford has.
Yeah, but they also have an all-stater in Thompson, so I'm looking forward to an outstanding basketball game.
Let's see exactly how the Edwardsville Tigers got here to the Assembly Hall from the sectional semifinals on. In the sectional semifinals, they beat Collinsville, a quarterfinalist a year ago. Then they avenged a regular season loss to Civic Memorial in the sectional finals. And the Supers, they trailed Centralia by 5. Now, in all of their tournament games, even back to the regionals, Andrew Thompson's been their leading scorer and rebounder except for one game. And so we talked with Coach Mike Waldo about the fact that are they a one-dimensional team? If you shut down Thompson, do you shut down Edwardsville?
Well, we think that we've got a really balanced team. We've had good guard play, and our front line players have played really well this year. We think that we've got a lot of players that can play the game well, and we think we'd adjust well if we lost Andrew. Now he's done a pretty good job of staying out of foul trouble this year, but that wouldn't be the end of the world if we did lose him for a period of the game.
Their big gun is Andrew Thompson. He's their leading scorer, their leading rebounder, their leading assist man. Maybe he's better suited probably as a number 3 player, Kenny, but they need him to play in the pivot.
Right. You see 22 points per contest, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. They think he should be a 2 or 3 guy, a small forward or an off guard, but they need him to be in the middle here. But he can go outside and also shoot. So, hey, he's their center, but he can also play forward and guard. He should be something to watch today.
The year before Mike Miller took over at Rockford Guilford, the program won 6 games. He had them win 7 by Christmas in his very first season, and now they're here in the Elite Eight. Let's see exactly how the Guilford Vikings got here to the Assembly Hall. Their road along the way had an overtime thriller against crosstown rival Auburn. They trounced Rockford boys Moylan, who was 4th in this tournament a year ago in the sectional finals, and in the super sectionals trail LaSalle Peru by 8 in the first half. When you think of Rockford basketball, you think of Moylan, Auburn. Guilford's the last Rockford team to get here, but this young Mike Miller, 26 years old, what a job he's done.
He's done a great job, and of course, they're crazy about this team in Rockford. They have a rap song on the radio about this basketball team, so things are going well with this team, but they have to forget the hype. They're the basketball game to play today.
In fact, we talked with Mike. We asked him, is his team coming here to the floor of the Assembly Hall going to be in awe of all that's going on?
I mean, you know, a lot of times people say, well, you should just be happy to be here, but we feel that's not enough. We want to go ahead and get something done while we're here, and we're happy to be here, but we realize we got some work to do.
Now their do-it-all guy is Johnny Rucker. He really is the catalyst of their team.
Well, no question about that. He leads this team in assists and steals, scoring. Rucker can do so many things, you know. So look for Rucker to control the tempo and control this basketball game if he can today.
He also has a big front line to work behind too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does have a big front line to work with, but he's the man.
All right, let's take a look now at the CarX factors of the game here in the second quarterfinal game. Brought to you by CarX Muffler and Brakes. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, don't worry, call the CarX man.
Well, let's start with Edwardsville. They have to handle the size of Guilford. They haven't had many big teams to go up against, and of course, they want to get the lead early. They say they play much better when they can dictate the tempo. Of course, for Guilford, they want to get on the floor. According to their coach, that means every loose ball. They want to get down and dirty, and of course, handle the basketball. Turnovers have been a big trouble so far for Rockford Guilford. They want to handle the basketball well this afternoon.
It'll be a tough act to follow that Bradley Bourbonnais Frem game, but this one should be a dandy. We'll be back with the starting lineups for this quarterfinal game after we take this time out. We'll return after these local messages. Let's meet the starting lineups now for this quarterfinal game, and let's go to public address announcer Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the coaches and players for this second quarterfinal round game, featuring the Tigers of Edwardsville High School, entering this game with a record of 24-6, and the Vikings of Rockford Guilford, who come into this game with a record of 25-6. First, here are the non-starters from Edwardsville. Number 10, a 6-foot senior, Ramon Jones. Number 14, a 5'11" senior, Darrell Connor. Number 22, a 6-foot sophomore, Dwight Woods. Number 23, a 5'10" junior, Aaron Pennell. Number 24, a 6-foot senior, Mike Schwartz. Number 30, a 6'5" sophomore, Antonio Brown. Number 40, a 6'4" sophomore, Chris Wright. And number 52, a 6'5" senior, Sam Drake. And now let's meet the non-starters from Rockford Guilford. First, number 10, a 5'10" junior, Dan Ron. Number 12, a 5'9" senior, Chuck Hansard. Number 14, a 5'8" junior, Eric Porche. Number 20, a 6'1" senior, Andy Saunders. Number 24, a 6'3" senior, Dan Kroger. Number 30, a 6'1" junior, Jeremy Sherman. Number 32, a 6'1" junior, Ernie McConnell. Number 33, a 6'4" sophomore, Rob Buss. Number 34, a 6'3" junior, Hank Haim. And number 50, a 6'4" junior, Wayne Bailey. And now let's meet this afternoon's starting lineups. At the other forward for the Tigers, a 6'3" senior, number 44, Justin Range. And at the other forward for the Vikings, a 6'5" senior, number 44, Kevin Rennert. At center for Edwardsville, a 6'7" senior, number 34, Andrew Thompson. And at center for Guilford, a 6'8" junior, number 52, Ben Holmstrom. At one of the guards for Edwardsville, a 6'3" junior, number 42, Jeff Bush. At guard for Guilford, a 5'11" senior, number 23, Johnny Rucker. At the other guard for the Tigers, a 5'4" senior, number 32, Jeff Lyles. And at the other guard for the Vikings, a 6'4" senior, number 22, Brian Thiede.
All right, here are the starting lineups. First of all, for Edwardsville, you see Thompson there in the middle with Bush and Lyles out front. Lyles, only 5'4", really runs the show under the head coaching of Mike Waldo, who is in his 5th year. Meanwhile, there's young Mike Miller and his starting lineup. Big front line to work behind. You've got Rennert at 6'5", Fletcher at 6'5", and Holmstrom at 6'8", and Rucker running the show out front.
Yeah, that's a nice front line to have. You can go 6'5", 6'5", 6'8" across.
Take a look now at the matchups head-to-head. You see a little bit of an advantage with Rennert over Range. Pretty much the middle cancels out.
Yeah, the middle matchup, one I'm looking forward to, Holmstrom and Thompson. Of course, Holmstrom has lost 20 pounds, and he's still 6'8", 230.
The starting lineup brought to you by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name Zenith goes on. There's the comparison, and where the advantage is for Edwardsville from outside the free throw line and rebounding.
Yeah, and then you see Guilford, of course, quickness, size. That size really could come into factor today.
Guilford in the white and Edwardsville in the orange. Guilford will start it off. Tipped out of bounds by Edwardsville, and there are officials for this game, Tom Abramowitz and Charles Brown. First of 4 8-minute quarters, second quarterfinal game. Taking it outside was Holmstrom. Thiede trying it from outside. The iron unkind, and coming away from the rebound is Whitehead. Yeah, they released quickly.
Yeah, you didn't see him. You had a man, you had Lyles who released.
Thompson hits the turnaround jumper, his first opportunity of the game, and Edwardsville takes a 2-0 lead.
Well, Thompson's the go-to guy. The coach told us yesterday he'll play unless he gets tired and asked to come out. But if he doesn't ask to come out, he'll play 32 minutes.
Out front with a basketball, that is Tony Fletcher. Over now to Thiede. From the corner, there's Kevin Rennert. Swish.
Nice shot in the corner by Rennert.
Edwardsville likes to push the ball down court. They will use a lot of players, maybe as many as 9 or 10, and you'll see them early, even in the first quarter. Nice pull-up move by Whitehead. The strong offensive rebound inside by the 6'5" Tony Fletcher. Rucker, his first shot of the game, and it's Rockford leading early, 4-2.
Nice move, went to the baseline, had a little head fake, froze his defender, and comes away with a nice, easy shot.
Whitehead misses the free throw line jumper, and Guilford pushes it down court. They've got the numbers. Rucker in the traffic, missed the double pumper. That shot rejected by Whitehead. Thiede for 3. A bit strong. Rebound comes back out to him. From the corner, here's Rennert. Holmstrom, the one-hander, no, and Guilford very cold that trip down.
Boy, you give a team 4 opportunities to come away with 2, you're asking for trouble.
First foul of the game, whistled underneath. It looks like it's going to go to the big guy, Holmstrom, first of the game. Here are game notes brought to you by Classic Pinnacle and Assure 2. What makes them better is you. Edwardsville in its third Elite Eight appearance. Finished second, last Elite Eight appearance all the way back in 1956. Thompson in traffic. And big defensive rebound by Fletcher.
Guilford Vikings just controlling the backboards, both offensively and defensively. It should be an easy 2.
Nice job, Thede, kicking it off to Holmstrom for the easy lay-in. Strong on the 3, Jeff Bush from the corner. Hustling up the rebound, Justin Range.
Good offensive rebound by Justin Range, who is a 6'10" high jumper. So you know he can get up on the boards.
Here's Thede. Staying with them all the way, Bush. Looking for some help is Renner. Didn't lose his dribble, though, and now Thede and Fletcher. Edwardsville pushing the defense outside right now. Holmstrom can't get it to go, but he'll go to the line and shoot 2.
You know, one reason besides just good positioning that I think Rockford, Guilford doing such a great job on the offensive boards. Here it is again, just great positioning right here. Gets the offensive rebound and pulls it up. But Edwardsville, as soon as the shot is taken, they release. So sometimes it's 5-on-2 or 5-on-3.
I guess they're trying to take the big men out of the game, beat the big front line down court, and get some numbers advantage.
Yeah, but if the shot's missed, then you're at the disadvantage going for the backboards.
Jeff Lyles, the 5'4" senior, coming back in, replacing Aaron Pinnell. Holmstrom, a 69% free throw shooter. Second-year head coach Mike Miller. No, he's not one of the players. Back when the team came out for the shoot-around yesterday, which one is he? No, I said, no, that's a player. He's used to it, he says. We've got a timeout on the floor with 4:48 to go in the first quarter. Guilford leads by 4. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Rockford Guilford making its first appearance here at the Assembly Hall with a trouncing of Rockford Boylan, 78-42 in the sectional final. Boylan was on this floor just a year ago. First sectional final win in the school history. They're the last Rockford school to make it here to the Elite Eight. Guilford leads by 4. Edwardsville with the basketball. It'll still be Tiger basketball, slapped away from Thompson there on the baseline. Mike Waldo, 5th-year head coach, was at Alton Marquette from 84 through 88.
On the arm.
Oh, Whitehead did a good job hanging in the air to draw the foul, and he'll shoot 2.
That's what you call a little hang time. Did a great job hanging in the air, but it was hit on the arm by Rucker.
Rucker gets the second team foul for Guilford. Good job anticipating Rucker getting inside and trying to block the shot. And hung as long as he could in the air to get the foul. See, Whitehead, a 69% free throw shooter. He gets his first point of the ball game. Whitehead, a good skills player.
Yeah, Coach Waldo said the last 6 weeks he's been absolutely outstanding.
On the offensive rebound is Justin Range. Nice shot inside. He gets his first 2 of the game. And it's a 1-point lead now for Guilford at 8-7. Here's Renner. And looked like Fletcher had the rebound. Foul from behind by Range.
Yeah, he had the rebound. Range came in and got him from behind. And again, you see the Tigers, they release. So they're not leaving many people on the defensive boards.
Guilford is a very different kind of team for Edwardsville. They're not used to playing this very physical kind of team. They're hanging in there right now. First quarter, Holmstrom on the turnaround jumper as the big kid picks up his second field goal. He's got 6.
Yeah, he had 6 points. He's so big and beefy. I think I would go down low all the time.
Jeff Lyles, a little 5'4" guard, swishes one at the other end, and it's a 1-point game again. Holmstrom. And the rebound ripped down by Wright, and he is fouled. Trying to take it away was Fletcher.
Fletcher trying to reach in. A little bit too much on the arm.
Waldo really believes that the whole offensive scheme for Edwardsville depends on Thompson and depends on the pivot. Not necessarily scoring everything inside, but getting it inside, kicking it back out, hoping the defense sags in on the big guy in the middle.
Yeah, well, yeah, basic basketball, get the high-low going. If you can open up your outside game, then guys can't sag down and double team your big boy down low. Zone defense right now for Guilford.
Lyles, the skip pass across. As they're working around the perimeter. Remember, no shot clock in high school basketball. Edwardsville trailing by 1. 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Quarterfinal game number 2.
Boy, Lyles small or what? He's 5'4", 140, which means he's about 5'3", 5'2".
But like any player, 5'4", it's still going to be Tiger basketball. You've got to be a tough, scrappy kid. To be 5'4" and play at this level, you've got to have something special.
Oh, yeah, he's averaging 6 assists per contest. He's a scrappy guy. He's the workhorse.
A lot of patience here shown by Edwardsville, a team that usually likes to pick the tempo up a little bit.
Looking for the good shot against the zone defense. That'll come out man-to-man on him.
Schwartz was in trouble, but helping him over there was Bush to get him the outlet pass and get out of the jam. Chris Wright nearly lost it. Double team, slapped away, and Holmstrom comes away with it.
They ran right into a double team. Threw it away.
That one airmailed out of bounds. He was looking for Fletcher, but Thede threw it out of bounds, and Guilford leading by 1. We'll go back to the other end with 2:31 to go. As coming back into the Edwardsville lineup is forward Craig Whitehead, averaging 10.5 points a game. He's got the ball on the perimeter. And down low, it's going to be a foul against Andrew Thompson, battling for position on the low post.
Let's see if we can see it again out. Thompson battling for a position. He's the all-stater, and boy, just a little elbow right there with the left elbow.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just send him up into the third row of the bleachers. 2:16 to go here in the first quarter. Reynolds over to Thede, deep in the corner. He'll shoot for 3. Short off the iron. Thompson comes out of there with a rebound and walked with the basketball.
He certainly did. And you have to give all the credit there to Fletcher, because he came in and Thompson saw him and he took a little extra step.
So Guilford with a 1-point lead, though the scoreboard has just gone blank on us. The clock has been cleared. The score has been cleared. So the big scoreboard here at the Assembly Hall, there you see, has gone dark. All except, of course, the message board where they put all the advertising. That never goes out. You notice that. So they announce about a temporary power failure with the scoreboard. They say there's 2:04 left to go in the first quarter. There's Mike Waldo. His team played a very tough schedule this year. Among their opponents, Fairleigh High School out of Memphis, who this weekend is playing for the AAA state championship for the state of Tennessee. They also played East St. Louis Lincoln, Quincy, Centralia, and Collinsville. Coming up, our Class A three-point showdown, one of the big events in this happening weekend at the Assembly Hall. There you see the Final Four in Class A. Jamie Seagraves of Forreston, Alan Metzger of Mulberry Grove, Ryan Hively of Monticello. The Double-A Final Four, Tim Page of Geneva, Corey Duncan of Sterling, Jeremy Jackson of Moline, Brian Yates of Heron. And that'll be during the finals of the second semifinal game tomorrow here at the Assembly Hall. There's Mike Miller in his first meeting with his Guilford team. They had won 6 games the year before. He says, guys, you're going to win 7 by Christmas. You're going to win 6 by Christmas. Well, he was wrong. They won 7. The team looked at him in that team meeting like, he had just come in from outer space. Their program just did not have the tradition that obviously the Auburns and the Boylans had.
Well, one thing, they didn't play summer basketball this summer. He had his team playing summer leagues, and look how it's paid off. A great inbounds play just won't roll. That would be an elbow.
Rucker just
That's a good call. That is a good call.
And he cleared out and threw the elbow and picks up the foul.
That is a great call.
Thompson picks up his first. It'll be the third team foul.
Here it is again. Now, good inbounds pass. The shot won't go, but watch Thompson, the all-stater, when he comes down with the elbow right there.
Beatty finds Fletcher. He's surrounded by 4 Tigers and scores. He gets his first 2 in the game, and Guilford leads 12-9. And Edwardsville again, Kenny, really stretching it out.
Really stretching it out.
Whitehead out to Bush. Edwardsville 24-6 this year. The home of the 1990 state baseball champs. They've been known for baseball. Whitehead there gets the roll on the free throw line jumper as he gets his first bucket of the game. It's a 1-point game.
Oh, nice seal. Good positioning down low.
Holmesburg drew the foul and will go to the free throw line, and Thompson gets his second.
See, Holmstrom is 6'8", listed at 230, and see, he cut across the lane, down low, good position, had his arms out, spread. You can't get around him. Just a good entry pass, good positioning.
And
by
we
the big
missed
center.
one. That is the big guy's third. And they've got him in foul trouble.
Yep.
Take a look. That's Mike Schwartz back in the lineup for Edwardsville. And now Mike Waldo will send in Aaron Pinnell, the 5'10 junior. And he's going to come in for Thompson, who's got to sit now with 1:15 left in the first quarter.
It really hurts when your all-stater picks up 3 fouls in the first quarter.
Well, I'd want to say that Guilford's going right after him, but they're really not. 2 of those fouls were those elbows where he is just trying to establish his presence inside.
Right, and one down here, that offensive end, you really can do without battling for a position, throwing an elbow.
Holmstrom doesn't get the bounce. He still has 7, but he gets the rebound tip back out to him, and Rucker will reload for the Vikings of Guilford. Fletcher inside. Nice reverse. Didn't have enough on it. Holmstrom. Boy, they're pounding the offensive boards, and only the cold shooting on those boards by Guilford is keeping Edwardsville right now in the game.
Guilford had 7 offensive rebounds.
Out front, that's Aaron Pinnell. Rucker on him. Now Whitehead. 40 seconds. You see the clock in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. It's a 2-point Guilford lead. They're going to take it down to the last shot. The ball was kicked, and it'll still be Edwardsville ball now with 26+ seconds left. Boy, Mike Waldo during the shoot-around. You know, some coaches during the shoot-around sit back, say, guys, enjoy the floor. He put them through just about a full drill. He guided every step of their shoot-around. Something that was added last year where the teams come in, shoot around in the assembly hall the day before, and I think it really helps calm the jitters. There you see Rob Buss coming in for Guilford, replacing Fletcher.
Yeah, and also not only calms the jitters, gives you a chance to get used to the floor, the rim. Every rim is different in every arena you play in.
And indeed, the shooting background here is very unique, a very unique building, the Assembly Hall, and its 31st year of hosting the state finals. Oh, good job by Lyles working inside, couldn't get the shot to fall as the first quarter runs out, and Guilford leads it by 2. So 1 quarter is in the books, and Guilford leads by 2. We will return after these local messages.
Okay, now back here behind the official scorers table. Sometimes it's computer glitches, sometimes it's mental glitches. This computer glitch, however, is causing the scoreboard to have problems. So what they did is they took this computer piece off, put a new one on, took another computer piece off, put a new one on there. But don't worry, good old old-fashioned stopwatch and a good old-fashioned official score is making sure everything stays just right. We'll have the scoreboard working back in just a little while. Greg Landis from the Assembly Hall staff is putting his computer ace staff together, and they should have that ready to go. But I don't think that should mess up even Kenny or Tom. Back to you guys.
Joe had a little power failure of his own there for a moment. After the first quarter, you see Edwardsville shooting 50%. Guilford owning the boards. But look at the cold shooting, 26%.
Right, just 26%. But they've owned the backboards. You know, they have 7 offensive rebounds. That's causing a couple of nice, easy buckets and easy putbacks. That's why Guilford has the 2-point lead.
So the second quarter about to get started. And it looks like, yeah, they do have the scoreboard back up, but the way it's been through the game, it may dump out at any moment. So we'll probably keep that stopwatch working across the way and get ready for the second quarter.
Well, I think they have the stopwatch anyway.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Edwardsville with a chance to tie, maybe take the lead with a tray. As Jeff Lyles, the 5'4" senior, walks it into the front court. Well, they've really got that defense brought all the way out just about to the free throw line. Look at, there's nothing back behind them.
Nothing back. Really pushing them out.
Looking obviously for a backdoor or a mismatch inside.
Well, to get the back door, you have to move without the basketball, though.
And they're not.
And they're not. They're just standing around. So you better move.
That's Whitehead way out front, guarded by Renard. And now Chris Wright. A double team out front by Guilford, trying to trap Bush. Schwartz open with a head fake, but found him staring square at 6'8" Ben Holmstrom. Over a minute now. A minute 15.
Without a shot. Nice, deliberate style of basketball.
You know, with the college shot clock, you don't see this much anymore on television when you're watching the games nationally. But of course, again, no shot clock in high school basketball. Crowd's not really appreciative.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't like it at all, but this is a way to keep the game close when you have your all-stater Thompson on the bench with 3 personal fouls in the first quarter.
They're shortening the game.
Yep, run low clock, keep the game short. Then Thompson can come back in the third quarter.
And Guilford's basically staying home. They're not gambling defensively.
Yeah, well, see, they can't afford to gamble defensively. Then you get a back door and you have a tied ball game.
Lyles got her on Fletcher, but got tripped up by Renard.
Yeah, I think this is good strategy by Mike Waldo. As you take a look at Thompson, he's your all-stater. He's your Mr. Everything. He picks up 3 quick personal fouls in the first quarter. So, hey, why not shorten the basketball game? The crowd may not like it, but you have to do what you have to do to be victorious.
That's the 4th team foul on Guilford. So it'll be an inbounds play for Jeff Lyles. Out front, he finds Mike Schwartz.
Okay, now here comes Guilford. They're coming out double team, man-to-man, try to get a steal.
There's Schwartz, who beat Quincy with a 3-pointer that really seemed to turn the season around, and he gets inside and can't get it to go.
But they get the rebound.
Kept alive, however, by Justin Range.
Well, you know, you run 2.5 minutes for that one back door and you get it, then they miss it.
Guilford leading by 2, and you see the wide camera shot because Edwardsville has spread out the floor on Rockford Guilford. Looks like a drill, doesn't it? Everybody's spread out so far.
Everybody's spread out, but I think it's a good strategy. And you look at Mike Waldo saying play number 4, but he wants the floor spread.
Before the game, Waldo on camera told us he believed in the balance of Edwardsville. We got a foul inside, and getting late inside was Fletcher.
Well, look. Well, we said it in the first game, the charge draw is the toughest call in the world to make. Tony Fletcher's called with the block.
So Fletcher finds himself on the bench. Coming in is Chuck Mansard, a 5'9" senior. Craig Whitehead, 2 at the free throw line. Whitehead now 2 for 2 from the line with 4 points. Remember, before the game, we asked, if you shut down Thompson, do you shut down Edwardsville? He said essentially, no, we're balanced. Let's go back and hear it.
Well, we think we've got a really balanced team. We've had good guard play, and our front line players have played really well this year. We think that, we've got a lot of players that can play the game well, and we think we'd adjust well if we lost Andrew. Now, he's done a pretty good job of staying out of foul trouble this year, but that wouldn't be the end of the world if we did lose him for a period of the game.
But maybe their very deliberate style. There's a 3 out front. It's Chuck Mansard getting a 3-pointer.
Big 3-pointer. Now let's see if they spread the floor. No, they go for the back door and they get it.
Jeff Bush takes it inside and has the easy layup for his first 2.
I think maybe Rockford was anticipating that slow offense and spread the floor, and Edwardsville saw the back door. They came away with it.
Mansard short this time. But going back to the comments by Waldo, is spreading out the floor maybe admission that they may not be as balanced against a Rockford team?
No, I think spreading out the floor is you're doing what you have to do to be victorious. You want to shorten the game. If you get an over and back violation, that's not, saying you're not as balanced, but you want to keep it short, this game short as you possibly can until Thompson gets in.
We've got a timeout with just over 4:06 left to go. One of your network sponsors is Toyota. Also part of this big happening weekend, the slam dunk contest in both Class A and AA. There are the final 4 in Class A. Jake Elson, Alan Berry, Scott Carley, and Tyrone Nesby. Finals will be between games 5 and 6 on Saturday. There are the finalists in AA. You got 5 going to the finals. Guilford with the ball, leading by 2. Inside was Mansard, and he draws the foul as he was blocked and fouled by Chris Wright. Let's go now over to Joe Passion and see if he can find out what Rockford Guilford's trying to do against the spread.
Well, Kenny McReynolds, your former coach, when you got a spread offense out there, and Mike Miller has stressed to his kids to go after them, be more aggressive and spread their defense out somewhat. Don't tighten up, because that opens up the backdoor plays as we saw before.
Go for the back door. Oh, nice tip.
Nice offensive tip by Johnny Rucker, who slipped inside. Take a look at that statistic. Normally I think about football with time of possession, but it's been a big factor in this game.
Well, let's see if they're aggressive on defense.
It's a 4-point Guilford lead. Nearing 3.5 minutes remaining now in this second quarter. Remember, Thompson went out with 1:15 left in the first quarter with his 3rd foul. That's Jeff Bush finding Wright.
Your hands off.
Well, here goes play number 4 again. That means spread the floor.
Range has got a pair of 4s, but he's not the man that time. As they play catch way out front, nearing 3 minutes now. Justin Range hits it.
And a nice move by Justin Range. Nice little fake, steps up, hits the clutch 2.
He is their leading scorer now with 6 of their 16 points. They trail by 2. Over to the weak side, but Kroger didn't have an advantage. Good defense by Bush. Tucker pulls up. Can't get the kind bounce. Rebound cleared out. Kroger couldn't control it, and ripping it away was Justin Range.
And so they're in no hurry. Spread the floor, run the offense, try to get the back door, try to get an easy shot. Just stay close until Thompson can get back in.
2 minutes, 17 seconds now left in the second quarter. Because it looks like Edwardsville will have to go more than 9 minutes in this first half without their top gun.
But they're only down by 2 points, so they have to be extremely happy.
Remember, not only is Thompson their leading scorer and rebounder, but their leading assist man as well. So he makes things happen with other players as well as scoring himself. But Guilford showing very good patience.
A little more aggressive on defense than they were when the Tigers first went into the spread offense.
Now we're at a minute and a half.
I like the strategy, I really do.
It has worked to perfection just about for Edwardsville after losing Thompson late in the first quarter. There's Jeff Lyles. Double team. Stripped away by Mansard. But they call him for the hack coming across the arm. The trailing official makes the call. And so
hit it again. Now Rockford, they double team the basketball and they strip it away, and battling for the basketball, and the foul is called.
Coming in for Guilford is Rob Buss, the 6'4" sophomore. And he'll come in to give Holmstrom a breather.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Miller has done a great job at Rockford Guilford. He's only 26 years old. He has a great relationship with his basketball team. Put them in a summer league for the first time. They really react well to him.
Mansard now looking for his 5th point of the ball game. Averages just under 5 points a ball game. Has appeared in 28 games this season. It's going to stay Guilford basketball.
That's another good call by the officials.
And by some of the players. Guilford helped make the call too. You can hear it. Coming inside, there's Thompson.
Okay, why do you bring Thompson back with 1:13 to go?
Wow, that's a surprise.
Well, I tell you what, if I'm Guilford now, I just look for Thompson. Hey, get him.
You go after him now.
And you see the big boy, Holmstrom, is coming back in.
You've done so well keeping yourself in the game without him. You have a minute 13 left till you have a second half and a half to talk about it, and 16 minutes on the other side.
Yeah, he just went back out too.
Okay. And in the process, they forced Holmstrom back in the ball game.
That's exactly what they did. You bring Holmstrom back in the ball game. Now you have him chasing around a smaller, quicker guy in the spread offense. Great move by Mike Waldo.
Guilford with a 3-point lead. Under a minute now for the first half. Out front, that's Aaron Pinnell. There's Sam Drake now in the game. Kicks it back outside. That's Whitehead. Finds Whitehead cutting. But Pinnell, good job. Oh, nice move around Pinnell by Whitehead. Got it back. Missed it again.
Drake.
On the offensive board, Sam Drake.
The strategy has worked to perfection.
Drake gets his first 2. Holmstrom too strong off the glass.
A man down low. Didn't see
and
him.
Evansville a chance for the lead. It's still going to be their basketball out of bounds off of Rutgers. The other thing they've done is kept the ball out of this guy's hand right there, Johnny Rucker, by eating so much clock at the other end.
Yeah, exactly. You keep the ball out of Rutgers' hand, and you don't give Rockford Guilford a chance to get in their up and down tempo. Mike Miller likes to get up and down the floor, but with this slow, deliberate style of offense by Edwardsville, they don't touch the ball.
And Guilford still shooting just 27% for the game. They haven't had a chance to get into a flow to get their shooting touch. They just haven't had the ball.
Only 7 out of 27 for the game.
They're dominating the boards like they want to, but can't convert. Under 10 seconds and a foul out front. That's going to be against Hansen. So he picks up his first. And we're in the bonus with 8.4 seconds left. And Edwardsville here a chance to take the lead going into the intermission.
That's the 16 foul.
Well, you see Waldo, he is into this game. The coat's off, the tie's off. Launching his players into the game. He just about threw Schwartz all the way to the free throw line. He is intense. Boy, both coaches are working this game very hard.
Well, there's no tomorrow if you lose today.
Great chess match between these two teams. 4 seconds left. Whitehead over to Woods. No, and we're at halftime, and Guilford has a 1-point lead. coaches worked as hard in that first half as the players did.
Yes. As you see, Mike Waldo still at mid-court going after the officials.
Guilford led by 2 after the first quarter and leads by 1 at halftime. So Edwardsville owning the basketball through most of the first half without their star, Andrew Thompson, who ran into foul trouble late in the first quarter.
Well, I think that it's a great strategy by Edwardsville. They had the star on the sidelines with 3 quick personal fouls. You just run it out and spread the floor. I like it.
Let's go down now to Joe Passion, and he'll have a word with the Edwardsville coach, Mike Waldo.
Well, Mike, I got to ask you first. You had a major beef here with the refs coming off the floor. Tell us about it.
Well, I'm not. You know, it's physical, and we need to do a better job of blocking out and getting on the board. So that's the main thing we'll be talking about. They really hurt us on the glass the first half and got us some in foul trouble, so we got to do a better job of that.
Stahl, though, worked very well in your case.
Well, you know, Thompson's a good player, and he's got 3 fouls in a hurry, so we just wanted to stay in the game that quarter, and I think our kids did a good job of that.
Sure did. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
All right, Mike Waldo, he is running back toward the locker room, and I'll tell you, all that sweat is for real. We'll be back with more of halftime here after this word from one of our network sponsors.
Halftime, and you see in our second quarterfinal game that the Vikings of Guilford from Rockford lead Edwardsville by 1 at 19-18. You know, one thing, Kenny, about the first half, you got to hand it to Edwardsville. This is not their normal style of basketball. Obviously, they like maybe a little faster pace, but they've been able to handle it, and obviously they're right there in the ballgame.
Well, they've done an outstanding job handling their all-stater. Thompson on the bench with 3 quick personal fouls. So you make it a shorter game by just spreading the floor, running a 4-corner delay. You know, only take a good layup, take a good shot. I thought they've done a great job.
Meanwhile, Rucker, of course, who averages 18 points a game for Rockford Guilford, has but 4 points at halftime, and that's a byproduct of Edwardsville holding onto the basketball,
right,
keeping it in his hands.
He doesn't have the ball, so you know you can't shoot if you don't have the basketball.
But obviously, Edwardsville didn't plan on Thompson having the foul trouble. They still will have to be careful with him in the second half.
Yeah, they'll pick it back up the second half. They'll get up and down the floor.
All right, we'll be back with more of our halftime here in quarterfinal game number 2. After we take this time out, we will return after these local messages.
All right, we have a 1-point game here at the break with Guilford in the locker room leading by just 1 point, 19-18 over Edwardsville. When you talk about points, the all-time scoring leader once played high school for Tams back in the 50s. Charlie Chico Vaughn went on later for a great career at SIU and even in the pros. But his high school all-time career scoring record was broken earlier this year by another great young basketball player, a young lady, Angie Sapp of Williamsville High School. Let's go to this report as Mark Kiesler fills us in.
To the students he teaches at Meridian High School, Chico Vaughn may not look like a scoring machine, but 35 years ago, Chico completed an incredible career at Tams High School, posting records that still stand as the best in boys basketball. Most points in a career, highest per game scoring average, most field goals attempted, and most made.
What makes Chico's point total even more impressive is the fact that when he played ball, they didn't have the 3-point line. Everything he shot from back here counted for 2.
When I was playing ball, we gave 100+%. Now the ball players are taller, they're stronger, and they're faster. But they don't have that desire that I think we had back then. And they had a 3-point shot, and they still, don't break my record, and I just don't understand it.
Even now, when Chico takes to the court, he shows the form that put his name into the record books. Those records are all he has left from those glory years. No photos, no film, just the records. And of course, memories.
I made 33 straight points without missing a shot in the regional. Right now with 49 points. And that was the game I mostly remember.
When Chico was in high school, girls' basketball teams didn't exist. But he's not surprised a young woman would break his scoring mark.
When you see most of the lady team, they give up more than men's do. I think they give 100+%.
It's that extra effort that's allowed Angie Sapp to break Chico's scoring record. And with more on the state's newest scoring machine, here's Paul Wapple.
Thanks, Mark. Well, Angie Sapp did have one big luxury during her high school career, the three-point shot. That wasn't the only way Sapp could shoot down an opponent. She was also strong taking it to the hoop. Angie scored almost 2,000 points on two-point field goals, but 624 of her points did come on three-pointers. Sapp was solid at the free throw line, too. During her sophomore year, Angie made 38 consecutive free throws, setting a national record in the process. Angie's career total of 3,403 points is the best in the state.
It just feels great, and I'm just glad I did it. And I hope it stands for a long time.
Angie chased Nora Lewis's record her senior year. She broke the record with a three-pointer against Illini Central in the regional final.
That's my favorite shot, and it always seems to go in here in this gym, I think.
I've been looking around, and a lot of people have on their shirts that say Angie Sapp leading scorer and 3,315 points, and I get chills every time I look at it.
Next up was Charlie Vaughn's 35-year-old record. Angie got that one in Williamsville's sectional final win over Beardstown. You weren't aware of it?
No, someone came up to me after the game, after the sectional game, and told me I broke it.
So Angie Sapp is in the record book as the state's all-time leading scorer. But she hopes that's not all people will remember her for 20 years from now.
I hope they think that I'm just a nice person and just a complete player and team player.
For the Illinois High School Basketball Network, this is Paul Wapple reporting.
We'll be back with more of the boys Class AA quarterfinals from Assembly Hall after these local messages. Back live at Assembly Hall at the half with Guilford leading Edwardsville by just one. And with me, Guilford head coach Mike Miller. That stall game that Edwardsville put out, that's going to make things difficult. How do you come out in the second half against it?
Well, we really got to pick up the pace. I mean, we got them playing. We're playing their game right now, and the thing is more like a bothersome thing, kind of like you're playing at Princeton, where they're just going to spread you out and wait for you to fall asleep, and that's what we're going to have to defend against.
Will you be more aggressive coming out to meet it more often?
Oh yeah, I think right now we just got to go ahead and get the traps, and they're doing a real good job with it. So we want to run more offensively and see if we can get some easy baskets.
All right, Coach, have a great second half.
All right, thanks.
All right, Mike Miller, and back over to a couple other young-looking guys. Back over to Tom and Kenny.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Let's take a look right now at action from that first half. You might not think there may be many because of the slow pace, but...
Well, we don't have that many, to be honest with you. But Justin Range will come away with a nice two-pointer here for Edwardsville. Nice rebound. They get it off and banks it and puts it in. Range has been the man so far. Let's face it, with Thompson on the bench, they get the ball to Range's hands once again. Nice drive, nice fake, step up, nothing but net. But we do have a Rockford highlight. After all, they do have the 1-point lead. Not a lot of scoring in this basketball game, but they work the ball around the perimeter. They come away. Nice three-point jumper right there by Halster. Hey, short game. Not a lot of scoring, but I think we'll pick it up the second half.
You see Range was the leading scorer for Edwardsville. Holmstrom, the big guy, leads Rockford Guilford at the intermission with one half of basketball left to go. It should be good, folks. We'll return after these local messages. We are underway in the third quarter. Edwardsville had just turned it over on a walking call, and here's Rockford Guilford, and it's turned over on a bad pass by Holmstrom because nobody was there. Here's Whitehead. Poked out of bounds by Fletcher. Now, back while we were away, Kenny, I was wondering to see what they would do now that Thompson's back at the game. They still want to spread it out a little bit.
They want to spread it out a little bit, but not nearly as much and play as slowly as they did when Thompson was on the bench.
In fact, they look to be more aggressive in looking for a backdoor cutter. But they figure it worked pretty well without Thompson in the first half. Here's Whitehead, a tray. Rebound raked down by Tony Fletcher. Guilford leading by one. No scoring yet here in the third quarter. Brian Thiede from outside. Oh, too strong on the three-pointer.
Yeah, I think you want to work that around, try to get it inside. I think Guilford should take advantage of their front line.
Remember, Guilford didn't shoot very well in the first half at all. At about 25%, and that's not the way to get yourself back in sync in the second half.
Well, they're only 7 out of 29 for the game. That's 24.1%. 1 out of 5 from three-pointer.
We hope to break the 20-point mark any moment here. We're in the third quarter. Whitehead double teamed. Well, helping him out was Thompson, but he's strong on the shot. And another big rebound by Fletcher. Boy, Rockford has owned the boards, but their ice-cold shooting has kept Edwardsville in the game. Tucker got in amongst the tall trees, and that was blocked out of bounds. But Guilford will keep it. Let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Wisconsin and Illinois.
And as you can see, field goal shooting for Guilford, just 25%, 47 for Edwardsville.
Tucker dished it off. Stolen away by Edwardsville, and Tucker steals it right back. Fletcher all the way. Yes!
Now let's see if Guilford picks up the pressure defense. Here they go for the double team, and we get a kick.
5:44 left in the third quarter. Guilford with as big a lead as the Vikings have had in a while. It's 3 at 21-18. They led by 4 back in the second quarter at 18-14. That's Whitehead. Now he switches with Bush. They're sagging back a bit there on Thompson, so Whitehead hits the shot. It's a 2. He was on the arc. Whitehead.
I think you had to give Thompson credit for that because they've sagged back and double-teamed him, so that leaves Whitehead wide open.
And he's now got 6. A 1-point game again. Answered was short on the curl into the lane, and a big rebound taken by Justin Range. He's helped really pick up the slack with Thompson's absence in the first half. He had 6 points in the first half. He's had some big rebounds, and that time Thompson is fouled from behind. Let's go now to Joe Passion.
Seeing as how this basketball game has really become somewhat of a mind game, give Guilford the edge. Assistant coach Frank Cushing, in his second year, has a doctorate in psychology, has his own private practice in Rockford, although Coach Miller admits most of his counseling has been done for him, not the kids. Back to you guys.
Wonder if you'd do a call for the broadcast crew after the game. Do a house call. All right, we've got a timeout on the floor with 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. One of your network sponsors is Toyota. 3-point showdown finalists. You see them right there. They'll go at it at halftime of Game 5 on Saturday, the first semifinal game. During halftime of the second semifinal game, it'll be the double-A 3-point showdown brought to you by Country Company.
Nice shot by Thompson on the inbounds play. A beautiful setup play. Just lobs it up high. He goes up and gets it. Comes down with the 2.
As Thompson picks up just his 4th point of the game, and a turnover by Guilford. And Edwardsville, with its first lead of the game at 22-21, has the ball back. Boy, Thompson, the all-stater, averaging 22.4 points a game. Remember, he has been their leading scorer and rebounder in all but one of their tournament games.
As you see the turnovers and the points off turnovers, Rockford Guilford with 5 points off the turnovers, but they only have a total of 21 points. And now you go back into the spread offense, Edwardsville.
Yes, they say that it worked without Thompson in the first half. Should work maybe a little bit better with Thompson in the game here in the second half. Whitehead has been a big factor. There's another one, Range, and he now has 8.
And he's starting to pick it up. They spread it out. Range gets on that baseline, and he's deadly from that corner.
He averages 12 a game, and he is their leading scorer. Out front, Kevin Reynolds to Brian Thede. Now Chuck Hansard. Chasing it down is the big kid, Holmstrom. They leave, Hansard open. They've got Holmstrom over there on the baseline. They don't have him down there on the block. Holmstrom just a bit strong on the turnarounder. They worked for the good shot.
Oh yeah, you can't question that shot. Reverse the basketball, get it around, but what a nice rebound by Whitehead.
And Guilford now 8 for 33 from the field for the game. Edwardsville with the ball. You see, leading by 3. Here in third quarter action. Quarterfinal game number 2. Forgetting the basketball was Lyles. It came free. Here's a 3-on-1.
Oh,
Tucker can't convert. Holmstrom stays home. And the big kid now with 3 field goals. He's got 9. He is Guilford's leading scorer. And they're going to call Hansard, getting him across the arms back there by the midcourt stripe.
Here's the last basket. Now, when you come down, you have to bring the basketball with you. Whoops, he forgot the basketball. That's Lyles. Now, they come down 3-on-1. You don't get a much better shot than this one, but you miss it. But just good offensive rebounding. Once again, Guilford has just dominated the offensive backboard, and Holmstrom with his 3rd bucket of the day.
Well, when he camps in there, he's tough to move. Several head fakes by range, and he came up short on the shot, but got it back. Edwardsville with the ball, leading by 1 with under 2.5 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter.
They go back to the spread offense, looking for the back doors. There's a double team. Step through it. Yep.
Range. He'll bring it back outside, nearing 2 minutes now for the 3rd quarter. Offensively, Whitehead and Range have been the 2 top scorers for Edwardsville, while their leading scorer, Thompson, missing most of the game with foul trouble, only 4 so far. He tried to lead it down low to Thompson, slapped away from behind by Rennert. It'll still be Tiger ball.
Yeah, well, Thompson had good position down low, but good weak side help coming over, knocking the ball out of bounds also with Johnny Rucker.
Mike Schwartz now checks into the lineup, number 24 for Edwardsville, replacing the other guard, Jeff Lyles. Thompson in deep.
Oh, he's tough, isn't he?
Boy, almost a negative angle shot. He's got 6.
Now you see why he's an all-stater. He's being recruited by a lot of Division I teams.
And coming back is Hansard, who hits the 19-footer. He now has got 6 in the game. It's a 26-25 Edwardsville lead. Mike Miller belying his young looks with his savvy. I tell you what, he really did impress me in our conversation yesterday.
Yeah, he really did. They have a great relationship with their coach.
He says, hey, this team and myself, we've kind of grown up together, literally.
Travel.
And the Tigers turn it over back to the Vikings with 1:20 to go in the 3rd quarter.
But Thompson looking to pass the basketball and just took a little extra half step. Get the ball down low. That's what he wanted.
Inside, Holmstrom missed, and Thompson with a strong board, and he's fouled, and Hansard will pick up the foul.
Well, no need to foul him down there. They get the rebound. They're coming out. You don't want to reach in and grab a guy on the arm. He's not going to hurt you this far back in the backcourt.
That's 3 team fouls for Rockford Guilford here in the 2nd half. And Edwardsville gets the ball back, leading by 1. Now coming in for Guilford is Rob Buss, a 6'4" sophomore, averages just over a point a game. They give Ben Holmstrom a chance to catch his breath. He's played most of the way, just about all the way. 1 minute to go here in the 3rd quarter, and Edwardsville leading by 1. Tried to force that pass. Tucker stopped it, but it went right to Thompson, and he made him pay. Before Hansard got over. Good defense by Edwardsville. Really forcing that ball way outside.
Have to get into it now.
Time running out.
Taking it up.
It won't go, but a foul is an offensive foul at the buzzer. Taking the charge was Schwartz. And so, after 3 quarters, Edwardsville, who trailed by 1 at the intermission, leads by 3, 28-25. 1 quarter left here in our 2nd quarterfinal game of the day. Back with that after we return after these local messages. Our game summary brought to you by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Edwardsville, you see Thompson picked up those 3 early fouls and held the ball for 12 minutes out of the first half and shot well from the field. Guilford not shooting well in the third quarter. But it's anybody's game. Edwardsville with the ball, leading by 3. Thompson had a good third quarter. 6 of his 8 points in the game came in that third period.
Back to the spread offense.
Jeff Bush out by the center circle. Over to Schwartz. Back in the game now, you see, is Tony Fletcher for Guilford. That's Whitehead. Big guy in the middle. Kicks it back over to Whitehead, but he stares right at Holmstrom. They go down low. They'll pass a little long, and it caught the iron, and Thompson couldn't get to it.
Trying to get to Thompson, actually the pass was just a little bit too high because Thompson was open. He had his man sealed extremely well. Then he was floating to the bucket.
Ryan Thiede, no from the three-point range. And Edwardsville leading by 3, gets it back. Spreading it out is Whitehead, stolen away from behind by Archer. Here's Guilford on the break.
You don't want the big man leading the break. Good move. Get it into the hands of a guard.
Well coached. Thiede for 3.
Well, Thiede's been here before. He played at Rockford Borland last year. So he knows what it takes to be successful down here in Champaign.
And he's a 39% three-point shooter, and he gets his first points of the game on the tray, and we're tied at 28. Just about 2 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. The winner meets Creme de Palatine in the semifinals tomorrow. Range gets inside. Good job faking. And looks like either Holmstrom or Archer both were there. I think Archer got him from behind.
Not only a great job faking, but great getting through that double team.
They're going to give it instead to Holmstrom. He gets his second.
Here it is again. Now watch, he gets a little head fake, goes through both men. Good step through, and Holmstrom goes for the fake a little bit too much with the body and the foul.
Meanwhile, Edwardsville brings Jeff Lyles, the 5'4" senior, back in, replacing Mike Schwartz. Justin Range, you see, he's closing in on his per-game average, but missed the free throw. Range at the line for the first time, only the third free throw of the game for Edwardsville, and they call a timeout. With 5 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter, we're all knotted up at 28. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the written consent of Cost Broadcast Sales is strictly prohibited. An Illinois tradition, the state finals on television since 1952. One of the longest running program series in television history. And another edition right here at the Assembly Hall. It's 31st year the finals have been held here. Range gets 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. And it's a 1-point lead.
Guilford shooting just 30% the second half, 4 out of 13. Edwardsville 62%, 5 out of 8.
But for Guilford, that's an improvement from the first half.
Yeah, the shots haven't been bad shots. They just can't get it to fall.
So Guilford will be very determined here, very patient on offense themselves. 5.5 minutes to go. Guilford down by 1. Rennert from the baseline, short off the iron. And Thompson with another big Edwardsville rebound.
Nothing but orange shirts around the basketball at that time. Beautiful blocking out. The ball hit the floor. All Thompson had to do was reach down and pick it up.
And there's a kick ball there by Fletcher. Guilford's not owning the offensive boards the way they did in the first half.
No,
so their
not at all.
shooting's got to get better or they're going to be in trouble.
Well, you have 5 minutes to go, so that's a lot of time.
Edwardsville leading by 1. 5 minutes left in this quarterfinal game. Thompson double team, nearly lost it. Got it back outside the bush. Tucker's on him.
Whoops.
There's a turnover. Fletcher took it away from Lyles and puts it in with the stuff.
Yeah, Lyles has to control the basketball.
Fletcher now with 6. He averages nearly 16 a game. And Guilford by a point. 4.5 minutes left. Nearly stolen by Fletcher, but Range got it back. Whitehead lost the handle. It's on the floor. Fletcher got it. And it's going to be Guilford's ball.
No, yeah, Guilford called timeout. One official said jump ball, but Guilford called for a timeout when they were on the floor.
Remember yesterday Miller said we've got to get every loose ball on the floor, and you saw his guys go hard to the deck right there. We've got a timeout. One of your network sponsors is Toyota. Take a look from the city of Rockford. You had Rockford High School going and winning the state 3 times. Rockford West 2 times. Both schools no longer exist. Guilford, coached by that young man there, Mike Miller, the last team now from that area to make an appearance in the Elite 8. Boylan and Auburn have both been here. Boylan was here last year. They were looking for Holmstrom, and a great steal by Thompson.
Another turnover.
But Lyles had his pocket picked by Tucker, and Tucker gets called for the foul. That's Johnny Rucker, I should say, not Tucker. Johnny Rucker getting his second.
Boy, here's Lyles again, going behind the bag, and boy, that looks like he just lost control of the basketball.
Well, we have not called Rucker's name a lot. He only has 4 points in this ball game.
He's your leading scorer, assist leader, and steals leader. He's still Mr. Everything.
And he has not scored a point yet in the second half. Guilford leading by 1. Edwardsville with the ball. In the corner, that's Range. Back out, and now Schwartz skips it all the way across over the bush. Rucker's on him. Inside, he got bumped. Thompson, the shot wouldn't have counted had it gone anyways.
Well, see, now you're in a situation that you have to get the ball into Thompson's hands. He's your all-stater. He's the guy you have to get the ball in his hands.
Holmstrom gets his 3rd. And the Tigers are in the bonus with 3:51 remaining. You can see well below his scoring average of 22.4 a game is Andrew Thompson. Little iron on the first free throw, but he got it in. He's a 76% free throw shooter. That's his first free throw of the game. He now has 9. That one cleanly into the cotton. Seesaw battle finds the Tigers now leading by a point. Under 4 minutes. Holmstrom muscles it up, scores, count the bucket, and he'll go to the line for the 3-point play.
Oh, man, is he strong or what? 230 pounds of muscle. He gets the ball down low. You see he has Thompson pushing him in the back, puts it down, goes through the double team, and he's fouled. And boy, what a break for Edwardsville that didn't come on Thompson, because that could have gone either way.
Bush got the foul. He was behind the play and came around with the arm. Schwartz heads out of the lineup, and Lyles is back in. Lyles has had some trouble out front handling the basketball for Edwardsville, but he's back in there. Hart trying to chase it down was Fletcher, and he does save it. Way out front to Thede, and Guilford has a chance to reload off the missed free throw. Guilford by a point.
Watch your hands, guys.
That's Thede. Leave him open. Now the point to Renner. On the block, Holmstrom with authority. Bounces, yes.
Gets the shooter's roll. That's what you want, Holmstrom. They want to take advantage of their size inside. And he's 6'8", 230.
He now has 13. Thompson has the shot rim across. Range on the offensive boards.
That's just great hustle by Range. That's just great hustle. And Johnny Rucker will be whistled with the foul.
2:56 left. Let's go to our colleague on the court side here, Joe Passion.
Well, when we have looked at Mike Waldo, the Edwardsville coach, of course, he's all over. Lost his jack in the first quarter, the tie a couple minutes later. He's sweating like he's actually playing the game. He gets a lot of that as the assistant baseball coach. The head baseball coach, the immortal Tom Moto Pyle, Also, very colorful character, enough so that he does color on WRYT radio with Glenn Beckman. Now, Coach Moto in the striped shirt there always wears a baseball jersey. He's a wild man on the baseball field. So is Waldo on the basketball court. Back to you guys.
1990 state baseball champs, Edwardsville was. Guilford leads by a point, and Guilford will keep the basketball on the sidelines with 2 minutes, 52 seconds left. Mike Miller wants him to run the X play is Holmstrom.
Well, I think your X means get the ball to Holmstrom.
Rucker in the corner, double team, a good job dribbling out of trouble.
Yeah, because when you're double team on the sidelines, you're actually triple team because the baseline becomes your third defender.
Fletcher over to Rucker. Holmstrom down low. Yes.
Yes, you might as well keep giving it to him. You dance with the lady you bring to the dance. So, hey, he's got you this far. Keep giving it to him.
He's got 10 in the second half. And a big offensive board by Rucker. Off the miss by range. 2:17 left. And Guilford leads by 3.
You better get it across the timeline.
Rucker. Fletcher bangs it back out front, and Leonard now make that Keedy with the basketball. 2 minutes remaining. And now Guilford will take a little time off the clock. Edwardsville getting a dose of its own medicine, as it were. Holmstrom. Oh, he's hot.
Is he hot or what? You dance with the lady you bring to the disco.
He's got 17.
He's dancing today.
He's got 17, 12 in the second half. It's a 5-point lead for Guilford. Its biggest lead of the ball game, with 1:34 left to go here in the fourth quarter.
Well, Holmstrom has caught fire down low. You can't guard him. He's 6'8", 230, fadeaway jump shot. Actually got hit on the hand right there by Whitehead, nothing but net. He is red hot. They get it to him down low on the blocks, exactly where you want him to have the basketball. Hey, Coach Miller told us yesterday that, hey, this man can shoot. He's lost 20 pounds. He can shoot.
Big guy in. Now, matchup, you guys get the matchup straight. Talk. Offensively, we're all blue. Bring it high, Tony Fletcher, and we get back cut city now. All right? Hey, we got 1:34 to go now. We get great spots. Just get available. If we got a layup, go ahead and score. Look to attack. We want to score all the time. Hey, yeah, let's go. Hey.
Gets across the timeline foul, just like we practiced. If we miss, foul on a rebound. They got it. We go. Now, Mike.
1 minute and 34 seconds left for one of these two teams.
And a very interesting move by Edwardsville. They just brought in 5 different players.
They use a lot of players. Look at the reset. Guilford has 3 timeouts remaining. Edwardsville 2. The possession arrow would give the ball to Guilford on the next held ball. And Edwardsville has 4 fouls yet to give. Guilford's not in the bonus. Edwardsville down by 5.
This must be the quick crew. They get up and down the floor.
Ramon Jones. He got hacked from behind by Fletcher as he went by.
And you can see he brings over the guys.
Got a platoon system over there.
Here it is again now. See what he does, what Jones does. He's quick, see, so he goes to the hoop, draws the foul. So I think that Coach Waldo's brought in his quick units because they need to get up and down the floor. You know that Guilford will delay it, and it also gives him a chance to talk to his 5 starters. On the bench, as you see, he's talking now to his 5 starters, who you know will be back at this ball game in a matter of seconds.
Jones was a starter early in the year when Bush was out of the lineup for 5 games due to an illness and an eye injury. He's a 6-foot senior. He gets 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. 1:20 left, a 4-point Guilford lead.
Oh, is he done? Nope.
Oh, they had the break, and Holmstrom had the easy bucket.
That should be intentional, shouldn't it?
Guilford's calling for the intentional foul.
I think it should be. And that unit was in there just to foul, and then you bring your starters back. But Charlie Brown's going to call it a non-intentional foul. Let's see if this is intentional. Well, the guy had passed the basketball and he's tackled. If that's not intentional, I don't know what is.
So Charles Brown gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, that's being kind.
Yeah, being very, very generous. With 1:15 left. And that time out front, Thede is fouled. Fouled by Jeff Bush.
Okay, well, here comes 5 more players. Let's shift them in now. Let's change on the fly. Bring in our quick unit.
42, Jeff Bush. That's his second, 4th team foul against Edwardsville.
So they bring in a whole new team. Aaron Purnell's in there, along with Daryl Connor, Ramon Jones, Sam Drake.
So they're into foul.
They get a whole bunch of fouls with those guys. Remember, they had 4 fouls to give back at the reset.
And see, now when Guilford inbounds the basketball, this unit will foul again and stop the clock, and your 5 starters are okay because they're on the bench. They don't use up any fouls.
Drake got his second.
Foul him again, foul him again. There you go. Okay, now bring your starters in.
Renard foul from behind.
Okay, boys, let's bring the starters in.
Looks like close order drill over there. Looks like ROTC.
Changing on the fly, right? Just like in hockey.
1:10 remaining. Our player of the game brought to you by Milk. Enjoy real dairy products. Look for the real seal in your grocer's dairy case. Ben Holmstrom, 17 points. Guilford scores again. And it'll be a chance for a 3-point play for Johnny Rucker, who scores for the first time in the second half.
Yep, he waited a long time to score, boy, but what a great play. Nice inbounds bounce. Beautiful pass from Thede to Rucker. Lays it in. He's fouled by the little guy, Jeff Lyles. And this could be a crucial 3-point play. And it is. Around and in.
Oh, it used a lot of iron, but it found its way home. That's his first free throw. He has 7, way under his average. 1:06 to go, and a 3 for Jeff Bush. Count the 3 for Jeff Bush. He got it from just inside the main ticket gate.
Okay, bring in 5 more players now. Oh, I like Mike Waldo. Boy, he's coaching, isn't he?
I'll tell you what, both these young coaches have put everything into this game.
And this is a crucial 3-pointer here for Edwardsville. You get the 3-pointer, now you cut this lead down to 41-37. It gives you a chance to stop the clock so Coach Waldo can get his foul unit in.
You take 22, don't let him get it. You stay on the box. 21 press, play hard. If it gets across the timeline, foul. Now guys, don't run crazy and let him throw it over the top of you. Stay mad. Look to run and jump, look to hedge, look to trap. If it gets across the timeline, foul. Don't wait 22 to run and jump, don't let him catch it. Make sure we get a foul.
Mike Waldo, his 5th year as a head coach, trying to pick up his 96th win. And there's young Mike Miller, 26 years old, out of William Penn College in Iowa. Was at his alma mater, Rockton Hononegah, for 3 years, 2 as an assistant, and took over basically a non-existent program at Guilford, and he's got him here in 2 years to the floor of the Assembly Hall. Under a minute.
Okay.
That was off Rucker's foot. The
Jump
battle
ball.
for the loose ball, and it's going to be Guilford's ball with the possession arrow.
Boy, I tell you, I don't like that rule. I've always said jump it up. I mean, can you imagine how intense this would be right now if you had to jump this up at center court?
It penalizes a hustling defensive team.
No question about it. It's a dumb rule. Here's your foul. Okay, bring me 5 more guys in.
Up, 2, 3, 4. There they go.
5 more.
There they are, right over there, across the way at the scorer's table. Looks like.
I tell you what, Mike Waldo, win, lose, or draw, he has coached. I mean, he has his strategy. He decided to delay the game when Thompson went down. Now he's bringing in a foul unit. Then he brings in a scoring unit. This young man has really, really given everybody in Assembly Hall and everyone watching on television today their money worth. He has done an outstanding job.
First one good for Kevin Renard, who is a 70% free throw shooter. That's his first free throw of the game. He now has 5. It is a 5-point lead for Rockford Guilford. This is the school's first trip ever to the Assembly Hall. It's now a 6-point lead, biggest of the game for the Vikings.
If Mike Miller wins this game, he could probably run for mayor in Rockford and win it.
Dwight Woods missed from outside. The rebound scrapped for inside by Thiede, and he's fouled. Now I think the physical play of Guilford is becoming a big edge in their favor.
Yeah, down the stretch, of course, Big Holmstrom, there was no one on Edwardsville that could handle him on the blocks once that they got him the basketball on the blocks.
Edwardsville has faced some tough competition down the stretch in regular season, like East St. Louis, Lincoln, Quincy, Centralia, Collinsville. First one good for Brian Thiede. He now has 4 in the game. Brian Thiede, a transfer from Rockford Boylan. 37 seconds ago. It's a 7-point Guilford lead.
One thing you don't want to do is foul.
Big steal by Tony Fletcher. Rucker finishes off the play.
That should do it. That should do it.
Rucker with 9.
Oh, nice steal. Nice hand by Rucker.
A 9-point lead for Rockford Guilford. And time running out on Edwardsville. Just 22.6 seconds left.
Boy, look at the Rockford section up high. The student body section waving.
Nice leaner by Thompson. A little strong, and the rebound won by Tony Fletcher, and he's immediately fouled by Justin Range.
Well, if there anyone out there that wants to be a coach, I think if you watch the job that Mike Waldo did this afternoon, he did an outstanding job when his All-Stater went down with 3 fouls in the first quarter. You see he brought in, he substituted, he spread the floor, he shortened the game. This is a good way to coach. I think you have to really give a tip of the cap to Mike Waldo.
I'll tell you what, both these young coaches, you know, the guys like Bill Frieder and Raleigh Massimino, they got nothing on these 2 guys for their intensity, the way they've coached this game this afternoon.
Except I'm sure those guys, Frieder and Massimino, get paid a little more.
But I tell you what, these guys love the game. That's why they do what they do. 10 seconds left. You don't get rich being a high school basketball coach. Great rewards. There's a 3 by Whitehead.
See, now the timeout by Edwardsville. And you may say why. See, coaches coach, especially a guy like Mike Waldo, until the clock says 000. But I'm sure that rap song that's playing on the radio station in Rockford, I'm sure they're queuing the carts up or the CD up right about now as they have that rap song about the school. I'm sure that song is being played just about now throughout the state and, of course, in the city of Rockford.
You know, earlier in the game, Holmstrom, we named our player in the game. He had 2 big back-to-back buckets that opened them up to a 4-point lead. Meanwhile, our play of the game is brought to you by American Airlines and American Eagle, something special in the air. I think it's our only slam so far today from Rockford Guilford's Tony Fletcher.
Yeah, Tony Fletcher with the steal goes up in, not real high, but he made it. He almost didn't make it. He got up, though, the play of the game.
He was almost cleared for landing a little too soon.
Hey, tell me about it.
4.2 seconds left. That's our American Airlines play of the game. Rockford Guilford leads by 8. They will take on Palatine Friend in the first semifinal game tomorrow. A steal by Schwartz from midcourt. It's all over, and Rockford Guilford goes to the semifinals after a 48-40 victory, a hard-earned victory for the Vikings. We'll come back to talk with Coach Mike Miller after we take this timeout. One of your network sponsors is Toyota.
All right, a big win here for the Vikings of Guilford. Their first trip to the Elite Eight is a successful one, defeating the Tigers by 8. Mike Miller, very interesting chess match between the 2 coaches all throughout.
Oh, I mean, we really had to work for it. You know, the 4 corners really kind of frustrated us for a while, and then you got to give credit to Tony Fletcher and Johnny Rucker defensively. They got some big steals, and Ben Holmstrom, of course, hit some great shots down the stretch.
Interesting how you guys were actually working the clock there toward the end, yet Ben found some openings on the baseline and really ignited your offense.
Yeah, we really feel good when we bring our offense high. It allows us to isolate Ben a little more, and when we get Tony to back cut, we think we're going to score.
Congratulations, Coach. We'll see you in the semis.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, Mike Miller, a big win for him, and let's toss it back over to center court to Kenny and Tom.
Can you blame the Guilford fans for having a boys' exuberance about them, huh?
Well, I'm sure that rap song is being played right now in Rockford. I think that young man could run for mayor.
I'll tell you what, he is a hero at Guilford right now, and their job not quite through just yet. Let's see how this game broke down statistically. Our stats brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Wisconsin and Illinois. Guilford never really did get into a real flow shooting-wise. They improved to 37% for the game. You know, an interesting statistic as you take a look at the team stats is that Thompson, who came alive in that third quarter with 6 points after sitting on the bench most of the first half, did not score a point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that's the go-to guy. He's their all-stater. He really has to get the ball. You see rebounds even at 26 apiece. 15 turnovers, quite a bit of turnovers for Edwardsville.
Edwardsville, a little problem out front handling the basketball at a crucial stage. This ball game, folks, was a one-point game with about 4 minutes to go, so don't let the final margin fool you. This was a very, very close basketball game. We'll be back with more from the Assembly Hall as we're halfway through our quarterfinal day of action here at the state finals. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
Back live, and what a beginning it has been for the Class AA quarterfinals. The Vikings win over the Tigers here in Game 2 after Frem winning in the first quarterfinal game against Bradley Bourbonnais. Let's take a look at the brackets and how they break down already here today. Bourbonnais losing here in the quarterfinals for the second year in a row by a bucket in the last seconds to Frem. And then, of course, Guilford winning by 8 moments ago here against Edwardsville. Setting the table for tonight's second round of the quarterfinals, it's Glenbrook North against Danville beginning at 6:30. And then we'll have the one everybody's been waiting for, two-time defending champ Proviso East against the #1 ranked undefeated King Jaguars. And that's how we're all set. Now the CarX Awards are also coming up here. And a couple of our great players like Sanu Thomas, a great basketball and tennis player, and also a great student. And Justin Range of Edwardsville, also showing his prowess not only on the court, but also in the classroom. It has been a great afternoon. We hope you'll join us tonight. For Tom Stocker, Dan Roan, and Kenny McReynolds, I'm Joe Passion saying so long from Assembly Hall, America's original March Madness.